Did we talk AC canceling the Civil War game at Ubisoft?
We could lead in with that, yeah.
Let's lead into that because that can go right into my AC, or I could dovetail it either.
Yeah.
But what a wild fucking thing to wake up and see that Stephen Totillo reporting that Ubisoft canceled an Assassin's Creed game set post Civil War featuring a black assassin hunting down members of the Ku Klux Klan. Like,
Dick.
hell yeah. What a fucking concept. Like, give it Assassin's Creed Red Dead Redemption, but you're dealing directly with that. Like, awesome. Does that get weird and scary to handle? Yeah, it does. But you know what? Some of the best stories don't shy away from hard material. And that is such a ripe thing that needs to be talked about. And the reasons they're canceling it, saying that the backlash from the Yasuke being a part of AC Shadows, just being a part of it and having some, it's not historical, they're just putting it in there. It just there's a black man here now. That doesn't make sense. And people got angry. The backlash, the hate comments, the hate mail that devs got, that the studio had to hire psychiatrists to come in and just make sure their staff were taken care of to handle this outside negativity that was being pushed on them for doing their job, right? It's just, and so that's one reason. And then the political stuff in America, the whole situation with what's going on. Yeah, what a time. What a time. So disappointing that we would miss out on what could be one of the coolest and most authentic representations of the American South. We just miss out on that. We miss out on the side stories within that. That's not even saying the black man hunting the white man, like that, the racist man. That's cool. That's something that we need to talk about as a society, and you know. But there's so much more to these games, and it's just such a bummer. I love that. You know, I grew up loving American history, like most Americans do, and then you realize how bad it is. But like, there is something unique to that time period, and knowing that there's more to it, you know, that we didn't get taught everything is terrifying, but also like, damn, how far would they have gone as Ubisoft? I don't know, you know, but hey, let's just start the conversation. So.
Yeah, it's been interesting seeing people's thoughts online because I feel a lot of people have been looking at the series itself kind of through shadowed lenses, like, oh, this is too far and political and all this shit, like the usual complaints. I'm like, you literally stabbed the Pope in the second one. Like, where else? Like, just because
you have the apple from the Garden of Eden, the first one, you are immediately dealing with biblical items. So, but you know, now we're upset.
Yeah. Now that it's this in current time, now it's an issue. Now it's a problem. Now we're gonna cause an uproar. Which is funny because you, again, with the Yasuke stuff and Shadows, and then Shadows is the fastest selling one, highest selling one, whatever, in recent times. Like, it just shows the online community is the vocal minority again, and they don't speak for the general consumer who doesn't really care. I'm kind of on two sides of this though, where like it sucks that this didn't happen, but on the other hand, I'm like, with Ubisoft specifically, would they have done the diligence that it deserved? You know,
I would say, having played Shadows, I think that they could have. I don't think the wide sentiment that online of people being like, even what you're saying, right? I feel the same way too, but I'm like, once I thought about it, I'm like, there's stuff in Shadows that I just played within the last month and the DLC where it doesn't go full bore into Yasuke, but Yasuke was on a slave ship, right? Like he right, that is dealt with. They don't dive deep into it. How much did they pull that back? How much of that, you know? So I don't know, but I don't think that's fair to say. But you know, hard to know for sure. You worry about the exec saying no to the devs. We can't do that, even though the devs are like, but this is literally what we need to do. This is the story. This is real. Like, nah, that's bad for the money. Sorry.
No, I agree. It sucks that this has been a year after cancellation, supposedly. Like I feel like stuff like this we
Yeah.
usually learn years later and stuff comes out really fast. But this was like multiple people anonymously came out telling people about this project and where it would have fit, because you think of if this was a full blown sort of entry, how far along was this have been out? Because Hex is still coming out, and then Jade, I believe, is still the next one too. Like we have two
I
main.
think
like,
Jade's the mobile thing though.
is it okay?
I think I'll double check.
But yeah, at least still like Hex, whatever it is, if that's still the next one, like how far along were they planning? How far along are these plans in place? And is that going to throw out extra development time on Hex? Is it going to force them to push it out sooner to make up time that this would have released in as far as Windows goes?
Yeah. See, honestly, Hex being this project, if you think about post Civil War, how far out of it, and then when you think about Hex is dealing with the state, like we were imagining, I think they might have said, or people were assuming, like Salem witch trial stuff. Those kind of line up, right? And if they did a two lead game with Shadows, we could have had the same thing with this one, you know, and it could have been, honestly, you could have had the roles flipped, you know, where Yasuke was more the brute, Naoe being the sneaky one. Well, now you have, I mean, you know, the black guy having to be more sneaky guy, which kind of fits with that time period, which again, flipping, you know, some narrative stuff, you know, interesting, right? So I could see that actually being the thing. Or this project, the Civil War one, was more of a Mirage style thing. They might have found success in that. They might have felt like, you know what, that's worth the time and investment. Let's do that now properly instead of it just being built off of DLC. Go something for that size. I can see it being that too, but yeah, who knows?
Sadly, the time we live in with games, everything's got to be pushed in some messed up direction, whether it's a new issue or not. Because even with Assassin's Creed, like it's not like, again, Yasuke's there. What was it? Liberation on Vita, the Vita one, black female
Freedom
protagonist.
Cry.
Like,
yeah, Freedom Cry also
there.
had a. Yeah, there's a couple. It's not new. It's just I also I do want. I think we could kind of wrap this up with that. You know, there were like legitimate threats made. You know, legitimate threats made enough to members of the studio, and at some point, it's a game. It's not worth it, you know. Like if there's so many people, even though they're a minority, causing so many problems and it's causing so much issues, maybe you put it on like, hey guys, it's just not the time. And is it being a coward in backing down to racist and backing down? Yeah, yes, it is, but it is also protecting as well, which we're just in a weird time. It's just hard to know what the right way is. But I just, you know, that's like a legitimate thing I think people gloss over, and we're just like, Ubisoft is bad. It's like, you know, it's really hard to say let's stop this because we're already getting death threats, and you know, cool. Like it's just a shitty situation. So you can hope it's, you know, you can only hope.